Who are the couples of love and marriage? Huntsville. Yes, I am finally, after all of your begging and pleading, I'm finally going to review Love and Marriage. Huntsville, I didn't really watch before. I would watch if the TV was on, knew who the couples are, who the players are. So I went back and watched so that I can actually get a good gauge on who the couples are. So I saw this article about the therapist calling out Melody Holt, and I'm like, where they do that at? Huh? You're a professional. You going on social media calling out your patients. But before I do that, I did that article. I want to give you a gauge of who I believe the couples are. I'm just going to start off by saying that all the wives are naked wives. I hate that. You know, I hate that. That's one of the other reasons I didn't want to review the shows because I'm like, Lord, just a bunch of you know, sadly uh naked wives. But anyways, it's Tuesday. I love you. I'm home today. Baby daddy and I are we're gonna have an Adam and Eve day. That's why I have my flowers in my hair, okay? Adam and Eve day. My baby daddy today. I love you. Thank you for your love and support. I miss you guys yesterday, but ever so often, I wake up late, I'm tired, and I just can't get a video in. Thank you for your love and support. Thank you for those of you who joined my Patreon. I appreciate the love. I'll be doing some videos over there today, so I can really go in on some of these topics. Thank you for those of you who picked up my books and the reviews, of course. And of course, check out my community tab. I'm going to come back and do a quick video on in my community tab, ladies, about why you allow your date or your husband to order your meal for you. And of course, whoever got the answer correct in the community tab, you will get a free Take Your Cookie Off the Table book. I have a new book coming out very soon, just tying up some loose ends. Okay. Who are the couples of love and marriage, Huntsville? Let's talk about Melody and Martell, the dog. Okay, Melody and Martell, they are the typical couple. They're very typical, right? They are the typical couple that they got together when they're young. They got married. She grew up and matured, and he is still the little boy who does not have control over his dingling. May I dare say that most marriages are like Melody and Martell, because a lot of people do get married in their younger, and so what happens is when they finally grow, especially the young man, especially when the husband finally grows up. Because let's say they get married, let's say they both get married at 27, right? Let's say a young woman is 27, the guy is 27. She's actually 27, but he's actually 20 years old. This is why my dad said, ladies, try to date someone who's older, because if he's a little bit older, you're actually in the right age mentally. Because a lot of men, even though they are 27 years old, I'm just using that as an example, they're not really 27, they're 20 years old. There's been studies done on this. There's a very uh it's a private school here in my area. I can't find the word. And a 5-year-old girl is in kindergarten, but a 5-year-old boy is in pre-K 4. They keep them in pre-K 4 because even at that age, they realize that the girls are a little bit more mature than the boys. There's actually studies that's been done on this, right? And so, you're in college, you're dating, and this is why I'm wearing my dating differently shirt, and you get married and you think, we're doing this thing. And the woman is usually the one that's doing the thing. Come on, let's do this, let's do that. But in actuality, he still can't piss straight, as the old folks would say. He still can't piss straight. And so when he finally grows up and mature, right around mid-30s, 40s, you see him start to wonder. Because I was watching one episode and Martell says, me and Melody are not compatible. And I'm like, well, when did you figure that out? After you done married her, wasted her time, had 4 beautiful kids. Now you realize you're not compatible. But even though I can't stand him, that's another reason I didn't want to watch it. I can't stand him. I can't stand the dog. He's right. Because now at this age, as he's older, he's realizing, man, I don't like her like that. But see, that's the truth, ladies, that a lot of you don't want to hear and don't want to understand, but it is the truth. And he's quick to talk about respect, respect. It's like every other word is respect. You're disrespecting me. You need to respect me. And I'm like, well, you don't even respect yourself. You don't respect your wife. You didn't respect your wife because you went and had a whole child with her. You cheated on her all these years so many times. You don't respect your name. You don't respect your children. But you want other people, you don't respect yourself, but you want other people to respect you when you don't even have self-respect, Martel. I just don't understand it. But even though I can't stand him, the dog is right. Because men, respect is what they breathe. Women, wives, we breathe love. He wasn't loving the Melody because he done went and cheated and did all this crap. And in turn, she didn't respect him. So this is why, ladies, my daddy said, like Martell and Melody, they are that couple. Every time I see them, I'm like, Dad. I just keep thinking about what my daddy said. You have to allow these men to grow up. They have not because they're less used 27, okay, because it's easy to take the 7 years off. Not because he's 27. I was going back and forth with this foolish woman in one Facebook group. Listen, not because a man is 30 means he's a man. Not because he's a 30-year-old male means he's a man. Because even the Apostle Paul told Timothy, when I was a child, I acted like a child. When I became a man, I put away childish things. And the Apostle Paul said to Timothy, have control over your own vessels. Hello, brothers. Until you can control your dick, Colin, you are not a man. You have not matured. You have not grown up, and you are not a man. You're an adult male. This is why God says in the book of Genesis, I created male and female. In other words, we have to become a woman and become a man. And there are many males that's walking around who are still little boys because they have not become a man. They have not conquered their dinglings. And until a man conquer his dingling and have control over his dingling, he's not a man. Until a woman conquer our emotions and have control over our emotions, we have not become a woman. This is why little kids, they act like tantrums at 2-year-old, with the exception of mine. I said, I'm not speaking that in my son's life, my children. My kids never had a terrible 2 because I didn't speak it. But you see a lot of grown male and female having tantrums. Why? They have not become an adult yet. So Martell and Melody, they are the typical couple out here. She's struggling to make it happen. She's fighting to keep her family together. He don't give a hoot. He's tired of her. He's ready to move on. He is maturing and growing up. And he is then realizing that, no, we don't have anything in common. We are not compatible. Because in this book, in The Naked Wife, I wrote of a story of a couple who he moved out of his mama's house at 19 and started shacking up with the girlfriend. And now in their 30s, she's realizing that she mature, but he is still that 19-year-old boy that they met in college. That at 19, she was going to the professors and begging them not to fail him, give him another opportunity. And now she's realizing that, yeah, I grew up, I'm mature, I'm 37 now, but he's actually 19. Even though he's a 37-year-old male, he's still technically 19 years old because he never grew up. This is why, ladies, we do not run the men down and beg them to marry us and be with us. While I'm dating differently. T-shirt available on Etsy. You can pick it out. It's because, ladies, especially for my younger girl ladies, we must date differently. You must stop meeting these men and committing to them and forcing them to commit to you and begging them to marry you. No, date together, data, and leave them alone to mature and grow up, because they are not men. They're males and they have not become a man. Moving on. The next couple I want to talk about, this way you have a view, because you know how I review my shows over here, is it's for us to learn. I want my young ladies and gentlemen to learn. Do not make the same mistakes that a lot of people and couples are making. The next couple I want to talk about is Tisha and Marceau. I can't stand him either, okay? First time I see him on the TV, I can't. It's just something about him. Something about him. But Tisha, she is the example of what the Bible calls a nagging wife. Then she got that little squeaky voice that I just can't stand. I mean, it's just like fingernails on the chalkboard. But she is what the Bible calls a nagging wife. And I'm watching him like, girl, leave that man alone. Stop nagging him to death, girl. The man went all the way to another continent to get away from you. We're going to talk about that, because I don't understand how you as a black man is going to the motherland and you didn't bring your wife and kids with you. You going to the motherland alone. Ain't that much time in the whole wide world. You need some time by yourself. Fine. The kids go to school. I go shopping. You stay home and you have some time alone. You don't go to no other continent. Talk about you want some space and some time to think. You could think at home, but anyways. She is what the Bible calls in the book of Proverbs a nagging wife, where the Bible says a man would prefer to stay up on top of the roof in the middle of winter to get away from his wife than stay in a big beautiful house with food and feast, depending on what translation you're reading, to get away from her. She's a nag. She's a nagging woman. She's a nagging wife. And she's nagging. Well, he's not giving her what she wants and what she needs. It's confusing to me. You have two masters you're not doing anything with, right? You want all the benefits of him working hard and the money and the bags and the car and the house. And what's up with them little tiny houses? I ain't Huntsville. I mean, I just said, Lord, no. I'm used to these big old mansions in Atlanta. But anyways, she wants all this stuff. But at the same time, girl, you're still complaining that the man is not spending enough time with you. So what they both need to do is sit down and say, well, we need to take away some of the stuff so he can come home and spend time with you. But he probably don't want to spend time with her because she's just a nag. I don't think anything can make this girl happy. Even if he quits his job and stay home, she's still gonna nag him. And so some of you wives out there, you are a nagging wife and you need to realize that you're a nagging wife and you need to stop. Because when you nag your husband, I'm not going to say what else I'm going to say because I don't want you to think I'm approving of it. But you don't want to nag the man into another woman's arms. So you have ladies start looking at your marriage or relationship. Are you Melody and Martell, where you're mature, you're grown up, and he's still the little boy? Or you Tisha Marceau with you're just a nagging wife, and there's just something about him. I haven't put my finger on it yet, but there's just something about him that I'm like, I don't trust this man. Moving along is Maurice and Kimmy. Kimmy is one of them wives that I can't stand. Okay, she's the mommy. Okay, she's the one that mom is and come on, baby, come on, baby, come on. Here's some breast milk. I just, I just can't. I'm like, girl, stop babying that man. But see, that's what happened when you have to hold a man down so he can finish becoming what he's supposed to become. You end up being his mom. And a lot of you ladies are dating these little boys who still need their mamas. And you know what I always say, send him home to be a mama, to be his mama, because you are a wife and you need to be covered and protected and provided for and professed to and loved and adored. See, all the things he needs you to do with him by mamaing him is all the things he's supposed to do with you, because a wife is to be adored. And a wife should never have to mother her husband, because you know what happens when you're finished mothering your son. He grows up and he leaves you to go find him another woman who can appreciate him for the wonderful man his mama has created him and made him into be. I'm doing right that right now with little Mike. I love him, talking to him. When you get married, you get your family. We went out for dinner last night. We're serious. When you get your family, you sit around the table. Miles and I, we were talking about the table. How sitting around the table is important, and talking, and how was your day, and spending time with your family, right? Kimmy is the mama type of wife, and any woman that's a mother to her husband is a naked wife. The next couple, I don't have their picture up here, is Tiffany and Lewis. They just joined last season, and they're getting on my nerves. Both of y'all divorced, but now all of a sudden y'all are experts. Let me see if I find the pictures. All of a sudden now you're an expert on marriage. Lewis talking about I was married for 5 years. That means you was already having problems if you get a divorce at 5 years. Huh? Now you want to counsel other people and both of y'all is divorced. Where they do that at? Shut your mouth. Unless you've had a successful marriage, I don't want to hear nothing from you. And they kind of remind me, very hypocritical. They kind of remind me of the church folks. You just got married Saturday, next Saturday you're running marriage counsel. Sit your ass down somewhere. You can't tell me nothing. I don't want to hear nothing from a married couple until you've been married 5 years. I didn't start talking to married people, writing nothing to married people, mentioning married people in my name, in my books, until I've been married 5 years. 5 years, you've really sat in that thing and you're like, yeah, this feels comfortable. Yeah, I can do this. I can do this. You haven't even been married for 11 months. And you're trying to counsel the other couple because you was married before and got a divorce? Where'd they do that at? You had a failed marriage, sir. Both of you had a failed marriage. So how do you counsel people now? I don't want to hear nothing the hypocrites got to say. Because you both failed. How you going to tell me to pass the test when you failed it? You can't tell me how to pass it because you don't know how to pass it. Now, in about 5-6 years, now since you got divorced at 5 years, 6 years, then you can start talking to me about marriage. But until that one year, I didn't take no marital advice from people who just got married, never been married. I don't understand. All these coaches out here, you ain't never been married. Facebook, having mentoring classes, you ain't never been married. How the hell you married me? You counseling married people, you ain't been married. Because I've learned some things being married. I can tell y'all a lot about being single, baby. But let me tell you, when you are married and you're actually living with somebody and sharing your life and sharing your space, it's different than when you were dated. So if you've never been married, I don't know how y'all out here counseling people about being married, but I digress. Tiffany and Lewis, hypocrites, hypocritical. You wanted I could advise you. No, you can't. You failed. You did not win. You failed. But anyways, so I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna read that article with Melody with the therapist calling her out on social media. Where'd they do that at? I hope she sues her. You're a therapist, even though it's on TV, but still, you don't take that out of TV and come on social media and call. But anyways, I got to go. I got to wake the baby up and dress him. I love you. I'll see y'all later. Okay. Have a good day. Today's Tuesday, right? It's starting to come out here. It's almost springtime. Got my flowers in my hair. I'm waiting for the cherry blossoms. Be sure to pick up these books from if you haven't picked it up. The Naked Wife, 23,000 Guys. The Naked Wife is available. Ladies, let these men grow up. Okay, I did a video maybe last year about this young man. They were both in college and graduated. She's becoming a teacher. He wants to go to get his master's. She's ready to get married. He's like, well, I'm not ready to get married. She's like, I don't even have a job. I don't have anything. I'm going to school to get my master's. And my comment was, no, let her be. I told, stay home if you have to sleep on your parents' couch, stay home. Don't go ahead and get married and let her pay all the bills and take care of you. So I'm glad he realized that that's not right. And a lot of you women are like that. You want to come on moving with me and let's get married so we get pregnant. I'm going to be a teacher. You can continue going to school. No, because once he's done with school, he's not going to want you. Because you will always be able to say, I did this for you. I held you down. You was working. I paid all the bills. A woman will always be able to say that. And no man wants to live with a woman being able to say that for the rest of his life. I got to go, girl. Bye.